Okay.
Accept Osama for request. Yeah. Invite host.
It is still muted.
It's 140,000.
I had him accuse the Inspector General of being incompetent. But the judiciary, the executive, the legislative, all those are arms of the government, and he is in charge. So him accusing cabinet ministers or cabinet secretaries and then accusing the Inspector General defeats the purpose. He probably doesn't understand his role, and I would like to know from accuse the Inspector General understand after 2 years that the judiciary, that he is in charge of the legislative, and he's not leading just a small village, and he is in charge. So him accusing cabinet ministers or cabinet secretaries and then accusing the Inspector General defeats the purpose. He probably doesn't understand his role, and I would like to know from accuse the Inspector General of being after 2 years, but the judiciary, that he is in charge of the legislative, and he's not leading just a small village, and he's in charge. So him accusing cabinet ministers or cabinet secretaries and then accusing the Inspector General defeats the purpose. He probably doesn't understand his role, and I would like to accuse the Inspector General of being after 2 years, but the judiciary, that he is in charge of the legislative, and he's not leading just a small village, and he's in charge. So he defeats the purpose. You have to listen to the people. If you are just occupying a seat, then you do not deserve the title of president. You have to prove yourself to be a president in order to you have to earn that title. And according to me, he has not earned that title. Another thing is, why is he constantly abroad? What is he doing? His mandate is towards the people of Kenya. Why is he always traveling? Whom does Charlene Ruto represent? Because she was not elected by the populace. And why is he rewarding cabinet ministers, cabinet secretaries with positions? If he feels he owes them positions, then he should do that of his own accord, out of his own pocket. We are tired, and we want to know when he's dissolving parliament, because Kibaki did that. So please, Mr. Ruto, when you earn the title, I will refer to you as president, but until then, you remain Mr. Ruto. And trust me, other people have fallen before you. If you continue killing Kenyans and not taking accountability for it, you're going to be the next
each
one. Thank you.
And every one of us.
Well, thank you, Dolly. Kevin Bugo, you can take the mic. Kevin?
You managed to send it?
Yes.
Hey guys, so the president is here. Feel free to engage. You can send the request, then I'll add you. Kevin, you can take the mic. Joy, do you hear me?
That we have managed to elevate the debate in our country to the level of issues that affect all of us. I am very happy that we are having a conversation about jobs for our young people, about opportunities for business, about manufacturing, about taxation, about debt, and all the other things that are important to all of us. I make this statement to highlight the actions taken in response to the overwhelming public feedback in the recent days, and to fulfill my commitment to continuously and effectively listen to the people of Kenya, and to underscore my intention to always take public contributions in good faith, applying them to enrich policy making, governance, and government programs. Public debt is and continues to be a major point of engagement and conversation in Kenya. I have today appointed an independent task force to carry out a comprehensive forensic audit of our public debt and report to us in the next 3 months. This audit will provide the people of Kenya with clarity on the extent and nature of our debt, how public resources have been expended, and will also recommend proposals for managing our public debt in a manner that is sustainable and does not burden future generations. The consequence of withdrawing the finance bill is the reduction of our revenue targets by 346 billion. Over the last few days, our Treasury team has been assessing the adverse impact of either reducing the budget by 346 billion in full or borrowing the 346 billion in full. And cutting the entire amount in our assessment would significantly and drastically affect the delivery of critical government services, while borrowing the whole amount in full will occasion a fiscal deficit by a margin that would have significant repercussions on many sectors, including our exchange rates and interest rates. We have since, after extensive consultations, struck a middle ground, and we will be proposing to the National Assembly a budget cut of not the entire 346, but a budget cut of 177 billion, and borrowing the difference. Whatever we are going to borrow, the difference, will increase our fiscal deficit from what I intended to be 3.3% of our GDP, it will now go up to 4.6% of GDP, still lower than last year, and will be used to fund some of our critical government services. We will use the money that we will borrow to protect funding for some of the critical areas that the people of Kenya have asked me to protect. They include hiring of junior secondary school teachers and medical interns, funding the milk stabilization program for our dairy farmers, reviving our stalled road projects that are in many parts of Kenya, retaining the fertilizer subsidy program that has helped us manage our cost of living, settling the debt owed to farmers in our coffee sector, capitalizing the coffee cherry fund to support our farmers in that sector, enabling public-owned sugar mills to pay outstanding debts to sugarcane farmers for their deliveries, additional funding for higher education, new funding model that was in our plan will now receive additional funding, settling arrears owed to counties, settling arrears for NGCDF, and settling arrears for our pensions. Accordingly, in keeping with the enhanced austerity measures we have committed to implement and align government expenditures within the budgetary implications of the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024, the following actions shall be taken with immediate effect towards the realization of the new budget. 47 state corporations with overlapping and duplicating functions will be dissolved.
Kenyans died out of this unfortunate scenario that affected our
towards the realization.
2 weeks. Some reckless people have put numbers all the way to 150. You know, in fact, on one occasion, the Kenya Human Rights Commission said 157 Kenyans have been, there was a massacre in Kithurai. That was not true. And for your information, even the BBC, on hearing such, outrageous allegations, went to investigate. And if you listen to the BBC, they say there was no such thing. In fact, one Kenyan unfortunately lost his life in Kithurai. Let me go to the situation which was which happened in Rongai, where we lost a young Kenyan. The situation in Kithurai was that a criminal in Rongai, a criminal assaulted the police, took off the firearm of the police, and shot, and unfortunately that bullet went and killed a young Kenyan. And unfortunately, again, and we have to be honest with one another, it was said that this young Kenyan was pumped with 8 bullets. That is also not true in Rongai, And so there is a lot of information out there in the social media propagated by people to try and create a situation that did not exist. In fact, I heard Kevin say, I was asking the one who did he die? Because, the one that was being said of 8 bullets did not exist. In fact, we have now found out that the one of 8 bullets happened several years ago, somewhere in Buruburu, and it was in a completely different scenario. But on Rongai, I was very clear. I had the benefit of information, and I spoke to that information. The same narrative I gave when I gave the interview on Sunday is the same narrative I have at the moment. I have also been, Evan has also said that we need to hold the police accountable, and that is correct. And it has been said that I am the president. Yes, I am the president of Kenya, but the president doesn't hold absolute power. That is why we are a democracy. In a democracy, there is a system of checks and balances. The president is not a dictator. I cannot decide for the judiciary. I cannot decide for the legislature. They make their own independent decisions. I cannot decide for independent institutions. The police, and let me say this without fear of any contradiction. When I came into office, I said I will respect the independence of the police. In fact, the one act I did when I came into office, the first day when I sat on my table as president, I signed the instrument to remove the budget of the police from my office, because that budget was being used to manipulate the police. You all know that it is said, he who pays the piper calls the tune. So I did not want my office to be the one to decide for the police on who to arrest, who to charge, how to pursue corruption. I provide policy, the police run independently. In fact, if you read the Constitution of Kenya, the police is an independent institution. It doesn't take instructions from me. It doesn't take instructions from the Chief Justice. It doesn't take instructions from the Speaker or from the legislature. They act independently. I agree, good people, that innocent lives were lost. And one life lost is one too many. I have said in my statement that as government, we are going to support.
What? Also, it has been reported again. Jesus Christ. Oh. The speaking, then boom.
Nikaa kuonyesha connection. Nasikia.
Nasikia, Otero. Just one moment, let the president use my handset in the meantime, yeah?
Hussein Mohammed Ban, you make this one okay from the...
Otero, I've got a point in regards to what the president has said just now. First of all, I'm quite dismayed that he's still trying to clear his name. It is about accountability here. He's talking about the number of bullets. The number of bullets that kill a citizen. Is it about one person dying or 100 people dying? We know very well that the number exceeds 25 people. And it is not about one person or 25 people or 1 million people. It is about people being killed recklessly. He is still not taking accountability for his actions. And yes, if he says it is a democracy, we agree. That is what we expect of a president of a Kenya, because independence was fought for and earned 12 December 1963. Now, we're still fighting to free ourselves from the IMF and World Bank respectively. He's talking about the number of bullets that killed a citizen. He's talking about a citizen in Githurai attacking the police at 3 a.m.? Really? Honestly, Mr. William Ruto, your accountability is zero. I'm quite dismayed, honestly.
Who is speaking? I tried to find out that.
But you're taking zero accountability for it. And
She is the speaker, this one.
Why do you laud the police for the matter of civilians?
I think
Why
she's
do
the
you
one
hold
speaking.
a press conference and tell the police that,
Not sure. I cannot see who is speaking that big English. Where is he? Where is she?
What he meant, he did not use the word protest precisely, but he said anyone who tries to disrupt the peace of the country. Protesters, how do protesters disrupt the peace of the country? Why do you load the police when people are killed? Why are police shooting at civilians on their balconies? Why are people fleeing Kenya so that they may have peace? Why are they being abducted? You might say that the police body is independent, but this is not a democracy. It is not functioning like a democracy, but a dictatorship, Mr. William Ruto. Because the way the police are handling the situation is not fit for a democracy, and you cannot deny that you're behind that. Because even though you say they're independent, you have the power to stop the killings. But instead you go, after all the killings, you go hold a press conference and laud them. Sincerely, we saw Manu last year, how you dealt with the citizens. Same scenario this year. When is that going to stop? What kind of a democracy is this? Can you define what a democracy is, Mr. William Ruto?
Whoa.
I think you grew up in a very authoritarian family that you expect people just to dance to your tune. In a democracy, the right to picket and to protest is guaranteed in the Constitution. The countries you travel to, Germany and United States, first of all, why did you grant them visa-free entry to Kenya? Africans do not have the luxury. Even diasporans don't have that luxury. The way diasporans are being treated at the airport, these bills. Now, what you did when you granted Europeans visa-free entry to the country is giving them the right to disrespect Kenyan citizens abroad. And the fee that was supposed to be incurred through the payment of visas is transferred to Kenyans. I mean, that is simple mathematics. You should know that.
Okay, Kenyan German lady, thank you so much.
The same expectations.
Oh, Kenyan German. This lady, she's the one speaking. This one. She's the one speaking, but I cannot show here on my side.
And then the conditions worsen for Kenyans.
Okay, if you can hear me, Kenyan German lady, let's give it, we said we limit it to 2 minutes so that we give everybody a chance to... No worries. You are at liberty, of course, to ask your question. Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Let me say this to my sister. The right to picket, the right, and I said it in my statement, is enshrined in the Constitution. But let me also make a distinction. I said the protesters, peaceful, within their democratic right, were hijacked. There are people who infiltrated. And I am very sure that the people who banned the office of the Chief Justice, the people who banned Parliament, are not the peaceful protesters. These are criminals who I was speaking to, and I was saying the police must stop criminals who are banning institutions, who are banning people who have gone to destroy people's property. I don't think those were innocent demonstrators. I know for sure that innocent demonstrators came out to protest, to picket, because it is provided for by the Constitution. But honestly, do you want to tell me that the innocent protesters, the people who had come to picket, are the ones who broke up shops, stole people's property, burned down Parliament? I don't think so. And we need to protect the protesters, but we need to keep the criminals who want to cause mayhem out. And I have the responsibility to do both by assisting, getting the police to do what they have to do. It is my responsibility to facilitate the police. The police will tell you, ever since I came into office, I have tried to assist them, to get them the right equipment, to get them the right capability to protect the country and to protect innocent protesters. Let me also tell you, many of the innocent protesters became victims of criminals. Balance we need to get. But let me tell you, ultimately, after I have said everything I have said, I am ultimately responsible because I am president. And that is why I said it was regrettable, it was unfortunate that we lost lives in this engagement. And I have said government is going to assist all the families as to the extent that we can to make sure that we minimize the loss that they have gone through. Let me also say the following. On matters to do with passports, I think we have made a very big step in the right direction to make sure that we deal with the challenge of passports. And even now, we have even a green channel to Kenyans who are looking for jobs abroad. Today, there is a green channel at immigration to make sure that those Kenyans who have jobs abroad can be able to be processed much more easily. Let me also say, there is a reason why we have a visa-free regime in Kenya. And when I say a visa-free regime, it doesn't mean that people come to Kenya for free. That is not the same. It is that we have simplified the process. Today, you will come to Kenya. We have simplified the process because we want to escalate our numbers. And for your information, because of the visa-free regime, we now have a program called ETA. Our numbers for tourism have gone up by 500,000. More Kenyans today have jobs in our hotels. Our hotels in Kenya today are 80% full in many instances. If you speak to the tourism sector, they will tell you our numbers for tourism in 2022 was close to 1 million. Last year, it was 2 million. This year, we are heading to 2.7 million. It is part of the interventions that I have made. It is part of the changing of how do you come to Kenya. Make it easy. Today, you don't have to go to no office. Today, you can get your ETA, pay for it online, and be able to come to Kenya easily. And Kenya is not the only country in Africa that is doing that. We are all doing that. Look at what is happening in Europe. 27 countries in Europe, they don't have a visa between them. They have abolished visa between them. Why would we want to keep a visa regime that keeps business people, that keeps tourists out and makes it much more difficult for them to come and enjoy what we have? For your information, Kenya should not be having 2.7 million tourists. We should be having 10 million. In fact, London has nothing to show. London is blocked all the places. They have 20 million tourists. We should be having 10 million tourists. It is my focus that in the next 5 years, I want to double the number of tourists coming to Kenya by 2027, 2028, and progressively do that. Why do I need tourists in Kenya? I need to create jobs for millions of young people in our country. We need to create investment in Kenya. We need to make sure that our farmers have a place to sell their food, their produce. This is why I am doing the visa free. It is not us versus them. We are looking at our own interest. And that's what I'm doing. Let me also say the following. Many people have asked me why I shouldn't dissolve cabinet. You see, when you sit in the place that I sit, there are many things that you have to think about. And I have given my undertaking this afternoon, that I am in the process of looking at how differently we can be able to reorganize government for it to deliver effectively, appropriately, and I have listed a number of interventions that I believe will take us to the next level, added on to what we were doing. I have also heard from my good sister who said that what happens to the finance bill? Is it going to become law in 21 days? Because that was the biggest beef. And why did I wait until it was too late? Let me answer it this way. Now, let me say that the finance bill today was a victim of many falsehoods and propaganda. The finance bill today was meant to achieve very important things for the Republic of Kenya. Unfortunately, I gave in because the people of Kenya had decided they do not want it, which is okay. But was there a problem with the finance bill? I would want a honest interrogation of the finance bill. For example, it was said that the finance bill had matters to do with increasing money for land rates and land rent and changing the whole configuration. Let me tell you, there is no single sentence in the finance bill that speaks to land rents and land issues. It was not true. It also says that we had put in there taxes that would make it difficult for people suffering from cancer. Let me tell you that, in fact, in this finance bill, we had put there 2 billion shillings to pay for the people who have cancer, who have diabetes, who have hypertension, because under our universal housing program. In the same bill, we had put interventions that would create more jobs. We had said, for example, there is no need for us to import diapers, to import pampers, to import linker, to import furniture from all manner of places when there are enough factories in Kenya to manufacture these products. And these products manufactured by Kenyans, hiring Kenyan young people, building Kenyan wealth, we were protecting our own industries so that we can protect our own jobs and give opportunity to millions of young people, to be able to understand, to be able to get jobs. And also, let me just say this lastly, potatoes, good people. Is it right for us to import potatoes from Europe, or eggs, or onions? We had put duty on importation of potatoes so that farmers in Nyandarua, in Timau, in different parts of Kenya can sell their produce without competition from potatoes from elsewhere. These are some of the things that were in the finance bill. I admitted, which I do, that maybe we didn't do as much communication as we should have, and that is a regret that I have admitted. But I am willing, I am ready, I am here to listen. Let me not say more. Let me do more listening.
Well, Mr. President, sir, ni mzuri tuongee ukweli.
Yes.
There's one problem with you, Mr. President. Haunanga huruma. You are not empathetic. Nini kitu imekasisha watu wengi, Mr. President? Na hii shida yote ilianza ile time ya floods. Remember time ya floods? Watu walikuwa wanateseka. You never even said a word. A week later on, we saw you on a private plane to the US, carrying all sorts of people, unnecessary people to the US. Hapo ndo shida ikaanza. You never said a word. Ukirudi bado nyumbani, tukaanza mambo ya reject the finance bill, kanyamaza tu, ukaona tunaenda maandamano. You never said a word until watu wakaanza kuuliwa. That's when you decided to reject the finance bill. Mr. President, surely, mbona unanyamaza alafu unapenda uongo sana? Unaona vitu vinafanyika when it gets out of hand, alafu unaanza kuongea. Saizi kuna watu wanazika watoto wao saizi ndio tunaongea. Saizi hata kuna rafiki yangu saizi anazikwa saizi. Ni matanga, hii wiki imekuwa ni matanga sababu ya maandamano. But you're here thinking about the economy. You're not even sympathetic with the families. Uja mention hata jina mtu mmoja. Kuna swali pia niliona umejibu, sema about Rongai. You asked us, kila mtu kwa space wanatoka from different regions in Nairobi. Yeah. Rongai, people are killed. But the information received, unadhani that they tell you only one person was killed. Okay, that's a lie too. They do not feed you. They do not feed you the actual information. So you are just weighing the deaths of people, the number of people. You just, like Kindiki was saying, people are not killed, he was not aware, people are not abducted, you are just arrested. Some of us were arrested. And your excuse is that the police unit is an independent body. Surely, Mr. President. Watu wakanauliwa alafu unasema police unit is independent. Alafu wakati wanauliwa your excuse unasema the economy is growing. How can this is right now the country is mourning. Properties worth of billions were banned. You have not addressed that. All you think about is the foreign policy and yet the economic status.
Oh, this is the guy who is speaking.
The livelihood
Osama.
Of the common mananchi. Surely, Mr. President, we need you to be with you. Be empathetic. Your government should be empathetic. You should stop this issue of police brutality. That's what we want right now. Personally, the police came to my house at 3 a.m. They broke into my house. They refused to identify themselves, and that was it. We were abducted. It was like kidnapping. Hii mambo mimi sikumbuki, nilikuwa nadhani mambo ya movie. Mr. President tulishikwa, tukapigwa. They even stole some stuff from our house. Imagine askari anakuja, ako na bunduki anaingia kwa nyumba, ako na mask. 12 of them with 12 cars arresting a single guy, an armed citizen. Alafu ukimwambia mbona anakuja kushika anakupiga. In the meantime bado anachukua vitu kwa nyumba yako. Unapelekwa place fulani hata not even a police station. When my friends were reporting the issue to the police station, they are not even aware. For my case, they even went to Parkland police station. That's where I was arrested. The OCPD told the guys, we know about this thing, but will not take any action. Meaning it was very criminal. The OCPD, Parkland police station, OCPD, deputy OCPD was very much aware what was going on. We were not booked in any single police station. We were taking a certain house. I think it was a safe house or something. I was blindfolded. Some guys were blindfolded for like 12 hours. Surely, Mr. President, are we in a terrorist country? We just want you to answer that. Okay, so this one in this space.
6K. Thank you very much, my friend. I regret your situation. If that is the kind of treatment you have gone through, I apologize. And I will take action in this manner. No Kenya. And I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that there will be no extrajudicial killing. There will be no Ribayana. There will be no, we used to have 20, 30 bodies in the Bayala. When I came into office, I said nothing of that is ever going to happen. And I want to promise the people of Kenya that will not happen under my watch. However, I have had the kind of horror you have gone through. That is not right. What I will do after this engagement, like, I don't know, in a very secretive way, if you can send me the details of what happened, I will be able to take action because you don't deserve the kind of treatment that you went through. Let me also say the following. You have talked about empathy. Maybe, people are on different, maybe we empathize in different ways. For the case of the floods, I even convened a whole cabinet meeting to just respond to that matter of floods. 3 cabinet meetings. My minister was on the ground. I was myself in Kiamaiko, in Paso. I came there in Kiamaiko. And for the first time, my brother, for the first time, normally, when people are removed from places, they are brutalized. They are removed and nobody cares about where they go. Nobody cares about what happens to them. for the first time in the history of Kenya, I made sure that every Kenyan who was living in the riparian reserve was given money for alternative accommodation. We paid every Kenyan who left that place 10,000 shillings to be able to relocate away from the danger of the floods that were on the river. I mean, it was the best that I could do in that circumstance. And I promise them that under our housing program, because we now have their list, under our housing program, we are going to be considered the first beneficiaries of our social housing program. I made that commitment in public. If you ask our peers for housing, they already have the data on these Kenyans who were removed from the riparian reserve, who had to be relocated and relocated for their own safety. For your information, we lost many Kenyans who were sleeping there, but they were carried by the floods. And it was the best thing that I could do. I went there in person. My minister was there consistently. I had 3 different cabinet meetings to attend the issue. We committed close to 400 million to make sure that those Kenyans who were in that situation were attended to. Maybe it wasn't enough. Maybe I should have done more. Maybe then I should apologize for not doing more. But to the best of my ability, it is the first time the government of Kenya is providing money to relocate people who have been affected in situations like the one in the flood.
Okay, Mr. President, on the issue of Githurai, you said there was only one casualty, which is a lie. Mr. President, Chapametu kweli. Githurai inasemekana there were more than 200 people who were shot dead. Some wengine hata wajulikani mahali wako saizi. Tunaongea ukweli saizi. In Rongai, they shot some guys pia. Wakaficha wakakwambia ni mtu mmoja. Na ni ukweli reality kwa ground watu walikuwa wanauliwa. Ila ni kweli watu walikuwa wanauliwa. Tulikuwa huko, wote tulikuwa maandamano. Alafu kuna issue nyingine. This rogue cop amekuwa akichapa watu risasi, anachapa watu risasi open air, kila mtu ana cameras are there. The dissent doesn't do anything about it. Amekuwa all over social media, in the media, but you don't even say a word about him. His name is Murangiri. That killer cop ameua watu. Watu wanazikwa kila siku sababu yake. Juzi ilikuwa last week Wednesday nilikuwa tamu vizuri. Along Moi Avenue, very happy, very healthy. He's a killer cop. Nothing has been done to him. Even if you got complaint of kitambo, for how long should we be talking about this? About the
Sorry.
You can go ahead, Mr. President.
My good brother, you know, it is good to be brutally honest. And I will not, as president, or even as a Kenyan, ever say anything that is not factual, especially on a very serious matter of people losing lives. Are you saying 200 people were killed in Githurai? Really? I mean, my friend, I mean, where are and the family step forward. People who are saying our members of our family are missing. They went to Mandamano or they went to picket and they did not come back. 200 people is not a joke, my friend. So I really want to plead with you. I am sorry to tell you, you have wrong numbers. I'm sorry to tell you that. It is not possible.
We even have the names. It's all over social media. What about
social media? I want to offer you. I want to offer you. Tomorrow, I want to offer you to bring the names and family members of the people who are saying their loved ones are not there. Don't even take them anywhere. Bring them to State House. Then family members who are saying, I have lost so and so. My fellow, a member of my family was there on Monday last week. He went to Mandamano and he didn't come back. And where possibly are the bodies? You know? So I mean, really, my good friend, it is just good to be, you know, we are dealing with a very serious issue. Please let us not use information that is not verified. It just helps to create a situation that is not correct.
Mr. President, I have another question too. Kindiki yesterday.
Otero, tupatie wengine nafasi at least ya co-host.
Ya mwisho alafu niulize alafu ni mwingine. Mr. President, jana Kindiki alisema guys were being arrested, not abducted. When a guy is arrested, it means the area police station or the area OCS or CPD is aware. When I was arrested, Parkland's deputy OCPD was not aware. Meaning these abductions are very illegal. Right?
Let me say the following on matters of abduction. You know, fact, let us agree fact that the era of extrajudicial killing is no longer with us. There is a new problem called abduction. And it is something that I am going to exercise my mind on because the police have clear rules of how to arrest citizens if they have to arrest citizens. There is a clearly stipulated procedure on how that is done. And if anything is done outside the procedure, then it is illegal and it is punishable. So when the police arrest somebody, they must declare to that person that they are policemen, they are arresting this person for this and that and that and that, and they take him to a place that is known. So that is a matter that I will take up and I will deal with it. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Otero, tuko na wewe bado unauliza maswali, naona umeanza wewe ni Otero, so naamua vile utafanya, but wengine chance. We have we'll take 3 people, 3 at a time faster. We have I'll bring in Alai, followed by Edie, folled by Gray, and then you can give Wakili after that 4. Again,
Hussein, I really don't think Alai should speak because his comments will be biased. This space is basically about what we are going through in the street. Alai doesn't know about it. In short, Alai amekuwa kiongea mbaya kuhusu historia ya maandamano. I really don't think Alai can
for himself. We can't limit anybody from speaking. Everybody has the freedom to speak here.
No, Alai is very bad.
So thank you. That's how
you can speak. But Alai, he hasn't been against this.
But
Thank you. Otero, I've been an advocate of freedoms for a very long time, especially when we don't agree. So I would ask you to learn that lesson that you should listen to people, especially when they don't agree with you. And that's what the president is trying to do here. We don't agree with him, and that's why we want him to listen to us and we agree to come to the space. And moving forward, I really want to tell the president that, Mr. President, you know that your success is our success, and we really want you to succeed. The problem is that I don't know if you really want yourself to succeed as a president of Kenya. Because from the moment you got to be the president, there are things you did which I think just sabotaged your presidency. When you decided to say that you are not going to listen to intern doctors, I said, does the president know what he's doing? Because he's touching the hearts of Kenyans. These are the people who spend most of their time in public hospitals. When the president didn't take up the matter of pending bills and tell the counties and the national government to pay the pending bills, you know that one is touching the middle class, the working class. And these are the people who mobilize their children, called Gen Zs. And they came out and said no. When you removed Linda Jamii, when we interfered with Edu Afia, when we saw your friends and very close associates working with bands of money, 10, 20 million in churches, Mr. President, I think you sabotaged your own presidency. And that's why I ask myself that the president really tells us that he means well for the country. But is he really meaning well for himself? Because unless somebody else is the president who is doing all these things, The second and last question, because I don't want to spend more time, I'm an elected official in Nairobi, Mr. President, is the issue of Nairobi on-source revenue, which we have asked, we have investigated, we have been taken around. Married was KRA, which is collecting that money. We have taken to the office of the president. Finally, we were told that it's being collected in state house by some agency. We can't get. I'm the vice chairman of ICT in Nairobi City County Assembly. But nobody knows who is collecting the revenue for Nairobi City County, Mr. President. It really saddens me because if that revenue was collected in a transparent and verifiable manner, then you know, Mr. President, some of these bills would be taken up by the counties and it will not come to you in the national government so as to pay those bills, Mr. President. Those are the only questions.
Thank you. Thank you, David and Sweetheart.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the chance to ask a question.
Good evening, with us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, let's go to Grace, and it is not responding.
Hello.
All right, thank you so much.
Hello.
Zeke.
Speaking.
Zeke, can you hear me? Oteru unanisikia? I can hear Eddie and I can hear the other gentleman.
I'd like to ask my
Right,
question if you can all hear
Okay,
me.
let's have one person speak. Grace speak.
All right, thank you so much, Hussein. Edith Ansari. So, Your Excellency, my name is Grace Onaro. My question to you is one, and my question is on this very, very emotive and very, topic that we love talking about as a country, which is corruption. I know you stand on corruption. You have spoken about it many times. You don't condone corruption. You don't want corruption to happen in your government. But then I want to point out something. Recently, there was a scandal, with the fertilizer, and the CS was, impeached, or a motion was tabled in the National Assembly by a member of parliament for him to be impeached. But what happened later is that, the same members of parliament from your political party, the UDO party, went ahead and saved this particular cabinet secretary. What does that speak, to your stand regarding corruption? Do you support corruption on one hand, but on the other hand, because he is your CS, these are your members of parliament, they go ahead and flop that motion that was supposed to impeach this particular cabinet secretary. My last question.
Yeah, sure, the president cannot read these comments here.
But a month ago or so, in the dailies, there was a freeze that the public service is not hiring anymore. What are you trying to tell young people? Yet you say each and every day you want to ensure that we give jobs to these young people who go to
So this is the guy who is speaking this one.
People are, forced to do things.
Future husband and father, stock invested.
If I can get a response to those two issues, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
The president goes, why nobody?
Grayson,
Do I answer those, or I thought we said we take three people? Can we take maybe Eddie? Eddie was somewhere. There is a lady called Eddie was somewhere or something.
Edit.
Edith Kimani.
Otero, from my end, I see she's a listener. Maybe you can add her to speak from what I'm able to see on my end.
Okay.
As we wait for can I proceed and answer?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Alai has mentioned three things. Mr. Alai, I want to tell you, Mheshimiwa, that I am acutely clear that even if I don't succeed, I want Kenya to succeed. The one thing that I am very clear about is what do we do? We change the status of many Kenyans. Intern doctors. There was a long conversation with intern doctors. I made sure that they were attended to. I met the leadership of the intern doctors myself. finally, and we did make an agreement on how to sort out the intern doctor situation, including I have factored in this budget with their concurrence. When I agreed with them, we were supposed to sort out their arrears in 3 years. I offered to sort them out in 1 year after I engaged with them, and the money is in the budget. As I talk to you, I have even today decided that even with the cut of the finance bill, I will still make sure that they are sorted out. The issue of pending bills. You know, my good brother, we have pending bills in the region of 650 billion. It is the reason why I appointed Mr. Ouko, our former Auditor General, to interrogate all the pending bills for purposes of making sure that we can pay them. In fact, one of the items that I listed this afternoon, which was also in the budget, is a provision for us to begin the journey to sort out pending bills, because it is crippling businesses of people, it is destroying enterprises of Kenyans because government is not paid. The third thing that you have said about Linda Mama or Linda Jamii and Edwafia, I have done 3 things. Maybe the explanation. Let me give you the explanation. It's a cut-off on Linda Mama. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, Mr. President. Sorry about that.
What we are doing is, under our universal health coverage, I promised the people of Kenya that we need to ensure that we don't leave other Kenyans behind. Under our universal health coverage, in which this year we now have a budget for it, we are going to scale up the benefits of Linda Mama. That is why we have brought it, we have scaled it up into universal health coverage. We want it to reach more Kenyans.